hakafis outside. It's a wonderful place. It's very nice to see smiling people who are dedicated to learning Torah. So in Pirkei Avos, in Perek Sheni, Mishnah Tes. First of all, anybody learning Yerdei Smicha?
Yeah.
Yeah, people learning Smicha? Okay. We'll see if I can connect it to Smicha. The Mishnah says like this: Chamisha Talmidim Hoyle Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had 5 students. Ve'eluhain. And the Mishnah lists off who the 5 students were: Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus, Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, Rabbi Shimon ben Nisano, Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. If I'm not mistaken, I just saw a sign of Yeshua ben Hanania. Is that right? Did we see a sign of Yeshua ben Hanania? I don't know, maybe I was dreaming.
Could be. There's a lot of them are. A lot of the Tanoim are.
So when I saw this sign, when I saw that sign, wherever it was, I think it's most applicable to you, because the Mishnah goes on to say what was every one of these students' specialty. So Rabbi Yossi. So the first one is Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus, Bor Sud She'ena Ma'abed Tipa. He's a cemented well, cemented pit that no drop gets lost. Anything he ever studied, he remembered. No drop gets lost. Okay, tremendous quality. But what is Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania? What is his quality? And you have to understand this, because the quality that the Mishnah is going to list off really is not his own. Ashrei Yoladatoy. Praise is the one who gave birth to him. It seems to me that, in other words, he came from good stock. His mother, his parents, and the Mefarshim say over here that the mother, as he was a very young child, felt that the best place for the kid to be as he's growing up, it's not like today's days. I mean, you guys, Baruch Hashem, live here in tzfat Kodesh. You know what's going on in America? Every kid has a Palm Pilot, a Shema Pilot. He doesn't have enough gadgets in his pocket, enough pockets to put all the gadgets. And he's walking around with all the tchotchkes, and it's all disturbing him. And back time of Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, when he was born, his mother felt the best place to educate the child was bring him in the vegala, in the carriage, in the crib, park him in the yeshiva, park him in the shul. That's the best place. That's how you absorb the atmosphere of Torah. So I'm not going to discuss what makes it his attribute. It's something that his mother deserves credit for. But that's how the Mishnah analyzes what's the greatness of Yeshua ben Hanania, that he hung out from childbirth. He hung out in a great atmosphere. So there's a very famous medrash. The medrash speaks about that a person has to be careful where he hangs out, because as an English saying is, guilty by association. And the medrash brings a mashal. If a person wanders off and he goes into the supermarket or he goes into a mall, and he walks into a perfume store, just to look around, see what specialty is in the perfume. He stays there long enough, he walks out, he's going to smell like that perfume. So the atmosphere you choose to be around has an effect on you. And this guy just walked into the room, but he's going to smell like the perfume when he walks out. So there's a pasuk that we say every day in davening, at least twice. Ashrei yeshivas v'secha. Praise are those who sit. It doesn't say those who study, those who learn. It says those who just chose to sit in the walls of Beisecha, of your holy home. And there's no better place than a person making a decision to say, I want to be in an atmosphere where the avir, where the luft, the air is kedusha. Tzfas kodesh. In halacha, there's a term called makon goyrim. The place where you are has an effect on you. If you're in a place where there's a lot of hustle and bustle, you're going to be busy a lot of times. The Gemara says, I think it was Reb Shimon, that before he passed away, he gave a tzavah to his kids. He gave a list of instructions. And one of the things he says to them, Al teishav b'goyva shel ir. When you're going to settle and have a family, don't live middle of Manhattan. Don't live in the Goyva Shalir where there's so much hummel and tumult. Find yourself a humble place. Find yourself a place where you can dedicate your life to purity. This is what it is when a person chooses to come to tzfat kodesh. You're not in Monsey, New York, or Manhattan, New York. Good for you. Now, for those who are learning Yeridea, I'll connect it to Allah and Yeridea. In Taruvas, Siman Kuf Ches. You're learning Taruvas?
No.
But you know it, right? What's Siman Kuf Ches about? No, that's Kuf Yud. Kuf Ches is about Din Recha, smell. So in simple scent, in a simple halacha, if there is a big oven or a oven, and a Gentile or somebody who's cooking non-kosher, I shouldn't say cooking, because if you know it's sif beis, it only applies by roasting. You remember that, right? Not by cooking. But on the right side of the oven, somebody's cooking a pork chop, pooh. And in the left side of the oven, the yid decides it's not going to rip, it's not going to drip, it's not going to leak, so they won't touch. But I want to put my what do we call that? My corned beef, or Yiddish corned beef. May I put it in the same oven? It's not going to drip, it's not going to touch. Is there a problem?
Depends.
Depends?
If it's completely sealed, it might be fine.
Okay.
If it's sealed on all sides, no smell coming in.
He's our recent.
One second. What else?
Um,
So the Shulchan Aruch in Siman Kuf Ches says like this. There is a machlokes in the Gemara if Reicha Milsa or Reicha Lav Milsa. Reicha Milsa means if it doesn't touch, it doesn't leak into the kosher food, what do I care? It's not penetrating. Does the smell that they're close by, does the fact that there's the smell from the pork, does that translate that the taste transfers into the kosher food? When I teach this halacha, I remember one time I had a student who said, Rabbi, wow, this is amazing. I remember once that I was asked to drive the bakery goods in the morning from the bakery to a bris. And I had a little station wagon, and I loaded the station wagon with all the challahs and baked goods. And I remember it smelled so fresh in my small station wagon that I got so dizzy from the smell. And he was trying to tell me, obviously, smell has an effect. So I explained to him, you got dizzy, but if you would have bitten your hand, it wouldn't taste like the bread. In halacha, the question is, does smell transfer into taste? Because you're not allowed to have a taste of pork. So there's a machlokes in the Gemara of Reicha Milsahi or Reicha Lav Milsahi. What are we paskin? We paskin who?
Milsahi.
We paskin lechatchila, stay away from it. Lechatchila, I have to be concerned of Reach. With the Evid, there's a lot of wiggle room. With the Evid, because it's, after all, it's luft. Well, how am I connecting it to what I said? You hear what's going on? I'm a yid. I want to have a piece of corned beef. I did everything possible not to let it touch the goyish pork. I put it far away. But it's close enough that it could create a smell. Don't do that. Because even smell, you walk into a perfume store, you're going to smell like perfume, people are going to talk about you. You have to find yourself a place where it smells right. In Shach and Yeridea, in Basi B'chalav, you learning now? In Shach and Pei Tes, the Shach has a term where he says, Mi sheyesh lo reach Torah. One who has the Torah smell should do this. What's this Torah smell? He goes to the mikveh, dirty mikveh. What is the Torah smell? The Torah smell is the atmosphere, the vibes. Guys, you have the vibes. You have much less challenges than all of us crazies who live in Chutz La'aretz. Internalize it, and it'll give you a lot of energy to grow.